I've been thinking, reflecting, growing from this concept that everything is a mirror. Everything that we're experiencing is projecting back to us, is making the truth about what we believe, what we prioritize, what we truly love, what we truly hope. All of those things are projected back to us. The tone of voice that we read other people's messages in. If we're hearing that with a loving tone, or if we're hearing that with a sarcastic, biting, accusatory tone, like that's what we're feeling. Like that's what we are projecting from other people back onto ourselves. And so in a way, we're not even really mad at anyone. We're only mad at ourselves. We're only mad about this idea of what we think about what they think about us. Nothing is real. I'm realizing that a truth about myself is I'm not loving myself enough currently because, wow, the computer's like shaking. Stop it. I'm not loving myself properly. Do you mind, sir? It is kind of cool light though. Ooh. I could use a new one of these guys. I tell you what. It just wants to fall down if you breathe on it. I'm not loving myself because lately I've been losing my really good going to sleep habits. I keep scrolling. Not on the devastating things, not on the scary things, on the silly and the stupid things, which, you know, there's a time and place for all of it, but not when I should be loving myself enough to sleep better. I mean, we know there's a lot of reasons why we do that, why we are looking for distraction, we're looking for something to just feel good, because so many other things just feel so bad. And a thing that I've been learning about and also trying to incorporate into my meditative practices, like when I actually take 10 minutes to be quiet and just breathe and not try to plan anything or do anything, but just try to be in the moment, but also in a continuing throughout the day meditative practice of being in my body, feeling my body scan, you know, sending your conscious thought throughout your body and being aware of the top of your head, down through your face, down to your toes, all the way, just like feeling each part of your body as you go. And also imagining what you look like from a distance, like hovering up in the air, looking down at you. What would you look like from that perspective? And if you really like to get odd, like I do, to imagine that you are a limitless. If you had all the wisdom, all the knowledge, all the limitlessness across time and space, and you were massive and not bothered by any of these things that are going on, how would you look at yourself? And with pure love and pure compassion, and to switch perspectives back to being in your body and being where you are and being limitless and being able to release the hold that reality has on the nature of reality. You know, like the whole glitches in the Matrix and timelines and parallel universes. I love all that stuff. It's so fun. But I know a lot of people don't, but a lot of people do have super weird experiences. Things that just couldn't possibly have happened, but they happened. Like, and sometimes it's mundane, but it's still enough to just totally get under people's skin. You know, like the people who literally only had one, I don't know, a vape or something. Like they only had one and it disappears and they tear everything apart and it shows up like in the middle of a table and they live alone and they couldn't possibly have missed it. You know, like these kinds of things that happen that make people just go, reality is weird. what? Like, supernatural stuff, ghosts, things, weird experiences as kids, like alien kind of adjacent experiences, like floating through walls, breathing underwater, like things that as children they couldn't really put a finger on or express to adults that this is weird, I'm not sure if this is meant to happen. That always stayed with them, and they never forgot it, and they never doubted what they experienced, in spite of maybe having told somebody and people being like, you're just dreaming, you just have a crazy active imagination, blah blah blah. But I feel like all of these things are like pulling people out of their like mundane, wake up, eat, go to sleep, wake up, go to work, go to sleep, blah blah blah, zombie automaton mode into what is reality. I was watching this really cool video about this book about ghosts that was written, it's in just like afterlife-y stuff, that was written in the 1800s that perfectly matches up to all these experiences of people's near-death experiences that have been documented. The nature of reality. When they die, they're so confused. Like when they float out of their body and they look down and they see that thing that's them, but it's not them because they're there. And they all say that it feels so much more real on that perspective. Everything else seems like really gray and weird and slow, but where they are, their body, they feel real. They feel much more vivid and vibrant. I could talk about that. I could talk about how interested I am in NDEs. I probably already made a video about it, but special interest. In that whole thing I talked about earlier about the limitless perspective and the in-the-body experience, that where we can kind of move back and forth with, to help the sense of hopelessness that can come in when you're only in your human experience and you're just feeling like there's no peace, there's no hope. This is just the end. My rainbow magician friend has talked about like having this there's this spectrum of I am the least important person in the world, and I am the most important person in the world. This matters. This is very, very important. This doesn't matter. This current situation. Like there's the people who believe, and I'm kind of accepting it, that there is a choice, like in reincarnation, and there's a choice to have really difficult experiences. There's a plan for when you will die because you've finished what you came here to do. And there's the theory that people choose really difficult things, not having a sense of how difficult it's actually going to be in the moment, and forgetting who they are, forgetting the plans that they made. And so much pain comes from trying to be in control of things that we're not in control of. But I wrote this thing that I will share. Well, I'll read a few things. What the heck? I do what I want. Oh mirror, the things you show, all my insecurities, the judgments. There are no secrets when everything reveals me. The lack I heap on my plate, the anger that comes from inconvenience, the control and authority I crave, the care I withhold from myself. Reality mirrors what I think of what's real. My emotions mirror where growth is yet to be. My actions mirror my true beliefs. My time mirrors my genuine priorities. What I read into interactions, what I assume is an attack. The discomfort and loneliness, it's the comfortable known. But growing out of the current skin is as inevitable as a labor. I can't stay here, not when I don't like what I see, not when I know I'm capable of better. And I think I've talked about that before. Without the pain, we wouldn't know what to change. So pain is yay! Woohoo! This is my signpost. This is my choice to either dig my nails into pain and hold on tighter and be like, this is mine, I am pain, pain is me, or to be like, wait, what is pain trying to say to me? How is it pointing me to a better, happier life? It's pushing us into the change we need. Like, anger is a huge catalyst for change because it has the driving force in it that, like, this is happening, I'm sick of it happening, I'm not going to take it anymore, I'm going to sleep in time. Like, yeah. But I also wanted to read this other thing that I wrote as I was, wrestling with, dealing with the emotions of others as people were disappointed that I'm not the Christian that they remembered me to be, and kind of leaping to demonize me and assume that I'm a bitter, angry old hag. Well, I added the hag part. But, bitter and angry and wallowing and I hate Christians. All Christians are bad people, Like, I'm not saying that. I'm not. I don't think that. I think there's a lot of really good Christians out there. But as I was dealing with that and working through that, like, wow, people are demonizing me. And that sucks. But I wrote this. No one makes me feel small or disappointment or lost. No one carries the weight of responsibility for how I feel or live or act. No act of hate steals my hope. No proud ignorance blocks my peace. I can accept their path without claiming their purposes. In my anger, I don't hate. In my quiet, I am not without empathy. Accepting isn't apathy. Accepting is being, without a driving illusion of control. Determination of dominance in stories that aren't mine. I let it be. I let me be. I let them be. And I'm ready to do the loving thing at all times. It's like, yeah, we're human. We're going to feel angry, but it's not a state of mind that we can choose to not live in that state. We have tools to come back to calm, to come back to this. And a huge, huge, huge part for me of coming back to calm is to realize where I'm trying to control things. Like, it's not my job to make people think that I'm not angry. People need to think that I'm always angry, and and something big and terrible happened to make me lose my faith, then that's what they're gonna think. Also, I didn't lose my faith. I just lost that expression of it, if that makes sense. So it's like there's room for a lot more wonder and a lot more bigness, and just the loudest voices of Christianity are just doing so much harm, and I don't want to be associated with that. And I mean, I've gone into it before, I won't go into all of it, but the LGBTQ thing, the mistranslation in the Bible, how many people have been hurt, how many people have been cast aside. And I respect the heck out of people that still want to call themselves a Christian and still hold on to faith in spite of all that's stacked against them.
You're having one of those moments where the threshold for something bothering you was finally reached.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I have those moments on occasion.
I was actually getting B-roll for a video.
Oh, I see. Anyway.
It's hard, of course, when you're an empathic person and you just feel the feelings of everyone and you take responsibility on yourself for them because of the eggshells you walked on as a child, and just rerouting those neural pathways is a process of fun. But I thank you for watching, and I'd love to hear what your theories of the nature of reality are. There's so much deeper to go into this beautiful rabbit hole. So, hugs and nostrils of death. It's like my sticker from the Barbie movie. Do you guys ever think about dying? If you want to see about my super beautiful planner that I do crafts in, I did a video about that. You should check it out. If you're a paper planner kind of person. Yeah, okay. Bye.
Ooh.